Diana is going to show us the slider sprocket. Diana, it's all yours.
Great. So the slider sprocket is a sprocket that's going to feature more than one element. You will have a right and left sort of scroll buttons to slide to the other contents. I'm going to go ahead and insert a slider sprocket into this layout. And I want to show you some of the options that I've picked for the slider sprocket. This time around, I've decided to include a headline, and I'm going to link that headline to a section. In this example, I'm going to link it to the blog section. I've decided to automatically fill it with content from all the sections, and I've set it to 6 items. Just so you know, the slider sprocket doesn't allow you to unselect the thumbs. Thumbs are always required for the slider sprocket. But you can decide whether or not you want to show description or those other elements. The other thing of note is that you can't have a View More button on the slider sprocket, and that's just because if you had it, you wouldn't see the additional items showing up. So
it's not really in a list format either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, the format of the slider sprocket, it doesn't make sense. For example, it doesn't make sense to not have an image in the slider sprocket, and it doesn't really make sense to have a View More button. So those are not options that are available on the slider sprocket. So here I've inserted the slider sprocket in its full width. Okay. So it's going to go the full width of the section layout.
Okay.
And here's a preview of that. So there you go. So at full width, this slider sprocket is set to show 4 items, and then I can click the right and left buttons to basically slide back and forth.
Yeah, you completely can understand the nature of the sprocket itself, why you need to have images.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it fills the space in it has more presence that way. What I wanted to show you next is how the slider sprocket adapts when it's given less space. So here, I'm going to make the slider sprocket now 50% of the layout.
Okay.
And I'm going to add just like a placeholder add sprocket next to it. So again, it defaults to 100%, and then I just reduce its size, and then it sort of automatically tucks up next to the slider sprocket.
Awesome.
And then here you can see. So now the slider sprocket adapts to the new space that it occupies, which is half of the page now. So now only 2 items appear instead of 4. This functionality of sliding back and forth still exists, and then you can see the ad next to it.
Awesome, and I can also see you have your headline up there at the top.
Oh yeah, I decided to use the headline, you're right. And then if I hover over it, you can see that it does have a link attached to it, and it'll take me to the page that I've linked it to.
Well, thank you very much, Diana. That was very helpful. And everyone, we'll see you soon.